So my goal was to do a loop around the bridges, and I wanted to come back, you know, via the Chestnut Street Bridge on a smooth, just straight through. But there were too many people who were incredibly annoying for some reason on the bridge. So we're okay over here, but for some reason there were a whole bunch of people and they were grouped together, I guess. And it's just like I had to stop and I couldn't continue walking until they passed, basically. But we're in normal land again. We had a little pod of people who belong to a special group, I guess. I guess it's what time it is, but let's go. That one? It smells like nail polish, like actual nail polish here for a second. So somebody must have painted their nails. And it's still like flowing through the air, you know, poisoning all of us. We'll let it go because we're also near a school and I'm sure there's kids who probably, you know, want to paint their nails and stuff, and I'm wondering if that's where it comes from. But ooh, there's a lot of it. It's almost like someone dropped a whole, it's worse than that. It's possible someone dropped a whole bottle of nail polish somewhere. So unless it's a form of turpentine or paint, it's possible because there's too much of it. So at this point, I wound up in holistic natural land. So I can't handle a lot of aromas, fragrances, perfumes, colognes, turpentine paints, nail polish, rubbing alcohol to get rid of it, like nail polish remover. Any of that stuff is like poison to me. I would need like essential oils, like a subtle citrus, sweet orange from Whole Foods for $5.49, a whole bottle that'll last like a month and a half. Throw that on really quick and it's better than, you know, Drakkar or some ridiculous thing. It's so funny. So, and that stuff will mess you up. Like, I guess if you're of a certain age and persuasion and you're still going out or whatever, people still do that. I don't even know because times have changed so much. And you're trying to pick people up. I guess people still use that, but it does mess up your pheromones. So the goal is to pick up who you naturally, like who you want to be with naturally, not who you wind up with as a mistake in a drunken stupor with your car pulled all over your face. It's so funny. Then you're throwing up or whatever the next, you know, that's, you know, the worst case scenario. So happens to a lot of people, especially in college. I feel like though, I don't know if people are better these days or if there's still, it's this thing where I sort of moved into the light, if you will, and I wonder, like, are there college students who still go out and party and they still get slammed? Okay, that still happens. In my mind, like, a whole bunch of people have moved past this and they don't do that, but it's hard to avoid, I guess, because people want to go out and have a good time, they want to celebrate, they want to feel cool or whatever. But you know, and that, like, colognes and perfumes can smell seductive, I guess, unless you're so holisticized and naturalized out that you're just like, that is killer, that stuff. It's Thursday night, so the party's getting started, at least like people going out and, you know, ordering online more often or whatever, like Thursday and Friday, Saturday, and I guess it'll settle down Sunday unless there's a game somewhere. Then it'll be quiet again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it'll cook up again Thursday, Friday, Saturday. always worry about, like, every once in a while I'll have a little comment or thing to say, but, you know, I explain myself, you know. Also, I was severely traumatized. It's hard to tell. Sometimes, beginning in 2011, I was made to believe I'd be killed, murdered in my apartment the fourth Monday of. My mom and aunt's phone lines in Jacksonville, Florida, all the way down south, while I was living in Philadelphia here. Their phone lines were severed so that when I called, I heard the disconnected jingle, because I wanted to call my mom, you know. So anyway, but ever since, I've been experiencing, like, bizarre forms of harassment, and it's not just like street level. Stuff happens on the street all the time that's acceptable or normalized, but this goes way up into the stratosphere of how many family rings, how much money, political connections within, you know, the system, if you will, and so forth and so on. Participated in one of the worst cases of whistleblower type harassment, even though I didn't really consider myself a whistleblower, so, but it's in that realm. It would be as if I exposed the beef, dairy, tobacco industries, you know, the entire medical field, anything that stands to profit at the expense of you, and sometimes illegally as opposed to ethically. So anyway, because of that, you know, I worry about sort of having a moment. But I've watched other people who are walker YouTubers, or they get on their scooter, even Johnny Strides or whatever in Canada, and he always calls out people who do, you know, stupid things on the sidewalk. Like, people will walk right in front of people, like if you're in a bike lane, and it became an issue of, like, is it a movement? Some people might do it on purpose. So whereas some people are clueless, and it's like, oh, you know, oops, you know, and for the most part that's the case. But sometimes when I've watched him, I've wondered if he wondered if people did things on purpose, because it'll happen too much in a certain kind of way, and sometimes you pick up on an intention. So, right. So anyway. So if I have a comment about cologne, perfumes, or people doing stuff, we have a theory already about what happened on the bridge and why I couldn't stand anyone on the bridge. And anyway, can people change the energy that you're walking in for a second? And that's why